Do you ever feel like gardening in Florida doesn't make any sense? I mean, the seasons are flipped. Our soil is basically sand, and everything, and I mean everything, wants to eat your plants. It turns out Florida plays by a completely different set of rules than the rest of the country. But trust me, once you learn our rules, it's so worth it. I've been gardening here for over a decade, and I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. Here are my top 10 lessons that changed the way I garden in Florida. Number 1, our Florida seasons. And we have special seasons here. When I started growing vegetables and herbs, I had to really understand that Florida seasons are flipped. In the northern states, the growing season starts from spring, but down here, forget spring planting. Our best growing season actually runs from September to April. This is very important when you're trying to figure out what vegetables you want to grow. During the fall and winter, I would stick to cool season crops like broccoli and lettuce or carrots. But during spring, look for warm season crops like eggplants and tomatoes. Yes, and tomatoes are my favorite. If you don't know where to start when it comes to your gardening journey, try herbs. I find herbs to be relatively easy. I love to grow herbs in a container. Here I have basil, I have mint, I have parsley, and I've noticed throughout the years that herbs only like morning sun or afternoon sun, but not both. Number 2, plant hardiness zones. I enjoy planting perennials and annuals in my garden, like this wild coffee behind me, which bring a lot of wildlife and color. But what I didn't realize is that not all plants thrive in your region. That's why it's important to look at your plant's hardiness zone. The plant hardiness zones are based on average minimum temperatures. Here in Florida, they range from zone 8A, around the Panhandle, all the way to 11B, down in the Keys. I like to think of hardiness zones as plants' home addresses. If you buy a plant that's better suited in cooler zones up north, most likely it will not do so well. So keep in mind the zone of the plant. For example, this lily of the valley behind me, which is one of my favorite trees, she comes from zone 3 to 8 and I live in zone 10. So as you can see, she's showing signs of she's struggling. There's discoloration and there's curling on the leaves. So be mindful of what plants you're purchasing and their zones to make sure they grow happy and healthy. Number 3, I've learned that I do not like to garden in the summer. As you can see, the heat, the sweat, the humidity, and let's not forget the bugs make growing very difficult and honestly not very fun, especially for beginners. And you're dealing with having to overwater your plants because the water is sort of evaporating. So embrace that fall through spring window because that is truly when Florida gardening shines. And when summer arrives, I've learned to just take a step back and give myself and my garden a break. Instead, I like to use the time to improve my soil, which leads me to my next point. Number 4, soil. I've learned that time will make perfect soil, so be patient with yourselves. Here in Florida, most of our soil is sandy or limestone based, just like what I have here, which means they're very low in nutrients and doesn't hold moisture. But that doesn't mean that you can transform your soil into something that will allow your garden to thrive. One thing that you can do is composting. As you can see here, I love to compost. I find this practice works really well for my soil. Compost allows us to reintroduce really good nutrients into our soil. And the best part about it is there are so many ways to compost today. I have the 3-bin system, but you can actually go online and see all the options we have. The idea is to grab your food waste and toss it into a compost bin. Over time, your food waste with cardboard, with paper, and even your yard waste will convert into beautiful compost that you can reuse for your garden. And let's not forget mulching. Over the years, I've learned that mulching is a critical part of our Florida ecosystem. Number 1, mulching allows us to protect our soil, allows us to protect from erosion. It helps block the weeds out. And over time, mulching actually breaks down and provides our soil some nutrients. A key thing to remember is particle size matters. When you're buying mulch, usually big particle mulch is good for your landscape, while smaller mulch or finer mulch, something like pine needles or straw actually helps in your vegetable garden. This allows it to break down faster and give your vegetables a little extra boost. Number 5, fertilizers. And yes, I know this is a hot topic because we all want these beautiful, lushy plants. Personally, over the years, I've learned to stay away from fertilizer, and it's a personal choice. Sometimes I will fertilize, and I'll tell you what I use. But key things to remember about fertilization is don't forget to read the labels. The labels give us really precise information about how to use it and how much to use. Number 2, make sure you pay attention to your surroundings. I am surrounded by water, and that's probably one of the reasons why I tend to stay away from fertilizers, because fertilizers will leak into the water. And if you really want to fertilize, I would recommend slow release. Slow release allows your plants to get a gradual amount of fertilizers for a long period of time versus regular fertilizers. You might be getting to a situation that you might burn your plants or just feed them too much. Number 6, your garden is made up of many mini ecosystems. Think of your garden as divided into multiple squares. Every square is different and requires specific conditions. For example, this area of my yard floods, which means I have to add plants that do well with lots of water. But this area stays relatively dry. So understanding your mini ecosystem can help you be more intentional with what you plant. Number 7, your garden is never stagnant, so don't be afraid to change it. I'm a big advocate of moving gardens around. I do think that gardens are like a form of art, that you can shift them and make sure that all the plants are happy. This area, for example, I've moved it around 3 times. I used to have a pond, but it was difficult for me to maintain the pond, so I decided to take it out and start focusing on more native. So, like I said, don't be afraid to change. Plants are resilient and they'll bounce right back up. Number 8, plant natives. I started gardening because I really wanted to invite wildlife and pollinators into my space. And I think the best way to do that is to buy native plants. At the stores, many of us go straight to exotic plants because they're vibrant or they're showy. But don't overlook our native plants. Take our state wildflower, the coreopsis. The yellow just brings a smile to my face. Or our native firebush, which they're always full of butterflies. Plus, natives have grown here naturally for thousands of years, which means they know how to handle Florida's climate. It's a perfect starting point for beginner gardeners. They're drought tolerant, so you don't need to water them very often. And once they get established, they help provide food and shelter for our beautiful wildlife. These species bring biodiversity into your space. They're beautiful, and there's nothing better to know that you're doing something to protect our Florida ecosystem. It's also great for pest management. Don't you love native plants? Number 9, gardening helps you disconnect. It's a great opportunity to get off my phone, to go outside, to take a deep breath of fresh air. It also gives us help when it comes to exercising, so that's a plus. So when you're stressed out or had a busy day, going outside actually slows us down. It actually brings some inner peace, and that's the reason why I enjoy being outside a lot. I get itchy if I don't go. It also reminds us how beautiful our ecosystem is. So don't forget to take the time to walk out and enjoy what we have. Number 10, I didn't realize how many free resources we have here in Florida. The University of Florida has an IFAS extension in every county. Their website has tons of great information, and they have a Master Gardeners Volunteer Help Desk that you can call for any gardening questions. If you're looking for native plants, the Florida Native Plant Society and Florida Wildflower Foundations are amazing resources. And there's so many more. I've left a few in the description below. And if you're still not finding what you need, don't forget our public libraries. I hope these lessons inspire you to start your own Florida garden. I know sometimes the first step can be intimidating, but trust me, when you start seeing your beautiful flowers pop up in your garden, or you're harvesting your first vegetables, or you're seeing wildlife flutter across your yard, it'll all be worth it. For me, gardening is everything. It's taught me so much about our state and how to protect it, and I want everyone to experience that. If you want to learn more, check out my previous videos. We go into native plants, vegetable garden, container garden, and so much more. Remember, when we plant native, you're not just gardening, you're helping Florida thrive. Stay rooted, and I'll see you next time. To keep building your native plant garden, check out the video below. Yes, click right here. I see you right here.